Hi guys, today's our episode of discussion would be regarding crawl budget. So basically let us first understand what crawl budget actually means. So crawl budget is nothing but a simple definition of how many pages Google indexes on a single day. Now why this is important, suppose you have a page of 1000 and suppose your index ratio is 10. So 1000 divided by 10, that means 100. So this means that it would take approximately 100 days to index your entire website. Yes guys, like this is very simple yet very powerful thing which can make or break your search engine strategies, because like just think this way, like you have an n number of pages. Now if your n number of pages is not really getting indexed at a full scale invasion, then your all the efforts are going into vain. You are making a change on your campaign and you need to wait certain days to certain months to even certain certain years into getting those things indexed. Now this is why crawl budget is very important, and it's advisable to waste as less possible as crawl budget as possible. Now why wastage? The thing is, if your value is more, this means that Google is crawling or indexing more number of pages on a single day, which can increase your efficiency and thus can increase your efficacy as well, which can really boost your SEO search statistics and your performance score overall. So today we'll give you a live walkthrough on how you can optimize your crawl budget with some of the proven techniques that we have applied on our own campaign. Without further wasting time, let us dive in.
So what is crawl budget actually? Like as you have seen in the in the previous slide, let me repeat what is crawl budget. Crawl budget is actually the total number of pages that is indexed by Google bot or Google Spider in a single day of your own website. So it's very simple. Like I have asked this simple question, what is crawl budget, to many SEOs, and like many SEOs including me at one time had the wrong concept. Don't let it wrong. Even if it is asked in an SEO interview, just keep in mind that it is the total number of pages that Google bot crawls in a website in a single day. So how to measure your crawl budget? It's very simple. You just have to enter the site crawl like search operator of your domain name. So we have done for our website sitecrawl.co, and as you can see currently we have 391 results in like in the Google SERP currently indexed. Now let's move on to how you can measure the crawl budget of your website accurately. So basically what you have to do, that you have to go to the Google Search Console, go to the settings tab and go to the crawl stats, and then you have so basically the crawl stats consist of a graph which shows, which basically represents how many number of URLs are being crawled every day. It gives you a stat. So what you have to do, you have to see the latest date and how many number of crawl requests have been sent at the latest day. Right now you can see there are 55 crawl requests that are over there. So that is your current crawl budget for this day, at that moment. Now let's go to what should be the ideal score of your crawl budget. So basically crawl budget is equals to the site index value, that is the value that you get after running a site crawl operator, and then like divided by the number of URLs that are being crawled by Google in a single day that you just found out. So if you divide the number, you will get you will get a value which ranges from 1 to 10, could be more. But I will tell you that the ideal value for a good crawl budget is basically 1 to 3. What does it mean is that it basically takes 1 to 3 days to crawl your entire website by Google. If your crawl budget is between 3 to 10 days, it basically means that it takes more than 3 to 10 days to actually crawl your entire website in Google, which is not that good and actually needs improvement. The worst scenario is when the crawl budget is more than 10. It means that it takes more than 10 days or even a month to actually crawl your entire website in Google, and which is the worst case scenario, and you have to really do some technical fixes to make it right. Now coming back to the crawl budget calculation, now like we had 391 results in Google, and per day our crawl the number of URLs being crawled was 55. So our crawl budget stood somewhere around 7.1, so which is not good, and it needs some improvement, right? Let's see if we can change that. So how to rectify the crawl budget? First part is, you know, keeping focus on your XML sitemap. So yeah, if you have a WordPress like sitemap, then you can see, then you may see some sitemap like this after you write thatware.co/sitemap.xml, or in our case it is sitemap_index.xml. You will see that there are two particular sitemap, that is the post sitemap and page sitemap, which is not optimized. We have to optimize them. What we have to do is that we have to set the priority of each of the URLs in the sitemap. So I have mentioned the hierarchy of the ideal hierarchy of what a sitemap should be. So basically the home page should have a priority level of 1, and the frequency setting should be set to daily. For all the navigation pages, the priority should be 0.95, and the frequency again should be daily. For all the top landing pages and service pages of your website, you can set the priority anywhere between like 0.90 to 0.95, and the frequency setting should again be daily. For the blog pages, you can change the frequency value to weekly, however, and the priority setting you can keep anywhere between 0.8 to 0.9. It doesn't actually that much matter, but blog is something you don't do as frequently. Maybe you post 2 to 3 blogs per week, so a weekly frequency setting is more than sufficient. Apart from that, for any other miscellaneous pages, you can keep the priority setting not less than 0.70, and the frequency setting can be done as monthly. So that actually optimizes the frequency of the crawl request, which set of URLs needs to be crawled more often than the others. Now let's go to the mobile issues, like the mobile indexing part. If you go to Google Search Console, the mobile usability report, it gives you a set of all the pages, the analysis of all the pages which are mobile usable or not, whether they are mobile, whether they are suitable for mobile devices. But as you can see, there is, if we have no pages which are showing mobile usability errors, but there is still a problem. Previously we had 391 pages that was indexed in Google, but you can see there is only 105 valid URLs showing in this report. So there is a huge issue right now. We have a lot of the pages are not even showing up in this report. Let's see if we can change that. So in order to change that, is basically what we have to do. We have to index the URLs that are not being shown in in this report. So what you can do is that you can run a scroll in Screaming Frog of your entire website, and you can export the mobile usability report through your entire CSV. Then you can compare both of the reports to find those URLs which are not listed in the mobile usability report. What you have to do is that you have to simply request indexing of those URLs again in Google Search Console. You can either do that one by one in Google Search Console, or you can simply use the Google indexing API that we just discussed in the previous video to bulk index all of those URLs. Just by indexing those URLs should eliminate this issue, and all the page and you should see all the remaining URLs in the mobility fix as well, like the mobility report as well, provided that all your pages are already optimized for mobile. You are using a responsive design and all other best practices. So once you have all this done, let's move on to the third part, that is the coverage issues and index bloat checkup. So it's basically you have to go to the coverage issues part, like tab of your Google Search Console, and you have to search for common errors like 4xs errors, 5xs errors, redirect chains. We have to remove unwanted pages from Google using the robots and the removal tool that you have in Google Search Console. You have zombie pages in Google which needs to be de-indexed. These pages usually are the category pages, tag pages, author pages, and other pages which need not to be indexed and can be removed using the robots or the exclusion list. Then we have the robots.txt. You might not have a good robot.txt. We will be preparing a separate video for that. I'll give the link in the description. Then you have to check the excluded pages in the Google Search Console too. So after you have removed all of the unwanted URLs removed, it should move on to the exclusion list, and basically the error section of your coverage report should indicate 0. So after that is done, let's move on to how to how we actually fix the crawl budget for our own website. So what we did is that we re-optimized our robots.txt. So The robots.txt file, usually people just give us a single command like the user agent and then give the disallow for the WP admin portion of their like the WordPress website, or just allow the home page and everything is fine. But that's not it. In like like you can create a highly complex robot.txt file. Use so basically what we have done is that we have declared all the crawlers separately for Google bot, Bing bot, Href bot, Streaming Frog bot, Yandex bot, whatever type of bots are there in our search engine bots are there. We have actually separately declared them as a separate user agent. We have allowed all the CSS, .js, .jp, like .jpg assets separately using the star and dollar operators. The star and dollar operators are basically called wildcards. The star operator, you can read about them more. I will give you a link in the description below which explains the star and dollar operator. I have a good blog in the Datware blog as well, so I'll give the link in the description. So next we like another thing is that we have to disallow any pages that come up as 404 errors. So if you find any pages in the coverage report which is 404 like which are showing as 404, you can simply like remove them from index using the exclusion list, and also you can remove them permanently using robots.txt, the disallow function. So that is something you have to do. Now the second thing is that we have to remove all the unwanted pages from using the search console exclusion list which I have talked about before. You basically take all the URLs that you want to remove, put them into the search console exclusion list, and those are gone from the index just like that. So how do you do that? You go to the removals tab, you click on the new request button, you enter the particular URL or the prefix of the URL that the URLs that you want to remove, and just hit next and it gets de-indexed. Next we go to the web vitals section. So core web vitals are basically the main indicators of the performance of your website. They like indicate to the search engine how well your website is performing in terms of loading speed, in terms of loading all the resources that you have in your website. It is basically a developer thing, so you can give like rest assured, give this task to your developer and make sure that your website is like having good web vital metrics. However, some of the I will tell you 6 tips to fix the web core vital metrics. One should be there should be lesser round trips like of your HTTP request. The DOM request like that is passed on to the server should be low. This you should enable server side rendering of your website, also known as SSR. We already created a video on dynamic rendering servers where we have explained both server side rendering and client side rendering. I'll put the link in the description below. We have to do JavaScript optimization. Again, we have created a separate video for that. CSS optimization, I'll put a link in the description regarding how you can optimize your CSS assets. And first fold optimization. The first fold, basically whatever the first portion of the website that you see on the screen is called the first fold. Basically all your important navigational links, all your important CTAs should be mentioned in the first fold of your website, and it should like load very fast. So the LCP is the major core web vital metric that measures the first fold or like loading performance. So if you have a good LCP score, your first fold optimization is nearly done. Now let's move on to part 3. So after you have done all the core web vital fixes, you can check the score using GTmetrix. You can see our score is already optimized, and this is the level that we have achieved right now. Our performance is quite good. Now let's move on to a taxonomy portion. Is actually a part of the WordPress backend. So if you have the Yoast SEO tool, so you can go to the search appearance section of Yoast SEO, and you can go to a taxonomies part. In the taxonomies part, you can actually what it basically does that you can choose to de-index or no index any particular type of pages that you don't want to show. So before I had already told you about zombie pages. So category pages and author pages are basically no need to be indexed. They are basically called zombie pages. You can de-index them using the taxonomies tool in Yoast SEO. But what happens if you do not have Yoast SEO? So taxonomies is basically a way in which you implement meta robots tag. So meta robots tag have these categories called no index and no follow directives, by which you can designate a particular page not to follow them and not to index them in Google. So if you don't have Yoast SEO, don't worry, you can just put this simple piece of code in the Google, in the header section of your website, and or that particular page that you want to de-index, and it will have the same effect on the website. Now, last but not the least, let's go to the XML sitemap optimization that we have done. So basically what I have explained before, we have actually maintained proper hierarchy of all the HTML pages in the XML sitemap, assigned proper priority and frequency to the HTML page, to the pages. We have ensured that no broken or unwanted URLs are there in the XML sitemap. They are not to be indexed and not to be put in the sitemap as well. We have also ensured that there are no redirection or canonical issues on the XML sitemap file, and also we have made sure that the latest version of the XML sitemap is updated in the Google Search Console. How you do it is that you go to the sitemap tab and you just simply insert the new URL of the sitemap that you have submitted for your own website. By the way, once you create a sitemap, you can actually insert the sitemap directly into the backend of your website. If you have a WordPress, you can do it from File Manager. If you have any other forms of CMS, you definitely have a file manager for each CMS, so you can just put the file in the root section of your website. Or if you have a coded website, you can simply give it to your developer, he will do it for you. So now after doing all this, this is the conclusion. Previously we had like 55 number of crawl requests per day, but that was in January 8, but now in January 9 you can see that the crawl requests have increased to 155. So instantly our crawl requests have increased after doing all these optimizations. So now let's see what is our crawl budget score. So if you can see, so before doing that, we have to also check that how many pages are now there in the Google index. So running a simple site crawl, we can see that the number has decreased, obviously because we have de-indexed a lot of unwanted pages from Google. So now the number stands at 265, and dividing it with the total number of crawl requests per day, we see the crawl budget has now decreased to 1.7, which is within the ideal score of 1 to 3. So now our crawl budget score is completely optimized, and this basically means that our entire website is completely indexable within 1.7 days, which is perfectly fine. So that is how you actually optimize the crawl budget. There are many misconceptions regarding that. Many SEOs don't even know how to optimize for crawl budget. They simply tell you to maintain a good URL structure, maintain a good crawl depth, vagera. That is all fine, but these are the actual technical tactics by which you can actually optimize and have a good crawl budget for your website. I hope this video helps. See you again in the next video. Thanks.